Hi everyone, welcome to another video. So this video is going to be about my semester 1 experience as a master's student at Northumbria, Newcastle. So I started, if you don't know, my postgraduate course in business with human resource management in September. 3-4 months ago now, as it is now 2017, and it was pretty hectic. It was the most busiest semester of the entire time at my university. So I'm going to basically go through some of the modules that I had, some timetabling errors that occurred, tell you a bit of how I managed to cope with that, getting a new job and working part-time, and sort of some of the assessments. I'm not going to tell you fully because obviously I don't want to scare you off, but I'm just going to give you a bit of an overview of my first semester experience. So first of all, when we started, we all got an email to go and collect books. Yes, books. They were all free. So basically, all these are going to help you through your course on your masters. So you have your dissertation book, you have one of your modules, developing global management competences, personal development, because there's 2 parts to the module, and then you have developing global management competences, analytics, which is the other part of the module. There is another module which is strategic management for competitive advantage. Yes, these are a mouthful. Try and say that when you've a little bit too much. So yes, basically in the first semester you have 2 main modules, which are your developing global competences and strategic management. And then alongside that you go to your master's dissertation classes and your academic and career development modules. They're sort of 0% credits, but you still have them in your first semester. So, timetable. Whew. Well, what can I say about timetable? I was in from about the middle of September to the end of November, sort of midway through October, getting into November. My timetable was about 20 hours a week to 25. Every day of the week, except Wednesdays. I think Wednesdays we were on and off going in, and it was very long days. Thursday and Fridays were the longest days. They were 9 till 6 sometimes, or 9 till 5, with only an hour lunch break. And on top of that, I work on a Saturday as well, so the only day I had off was a Sunday. So the first thing to obviously tell you all is your timetable is very, very hectic for the first semester. You are going to be in a lot of hours. So I was in 20 hours a week. Some other masters aren't. One of my friends does a course and she's only in 6 to 10 hours. One of my YouTube friends is only in probably around the same amount of time. And so when she found out that, and when most people found out that I was in 20 hours a week, it was wow, you're in a master's program and you're in that much. That is pretty amazing. And so I coped. I got through it. Don't get me wrong, lots of tears, lots of shouting, lots of curling up and not wanting to go back, lots of wanting to drop out, but I knew at the end of it that I'd go through it and I'd get out the other side, which I have done, as I'm starting semester 2 in just under 2 weeks' time. So, the modules. As I said, you have 2 main modules in semester 1, which is your developing global competences and strategic management. I'm going to talk about both of them a little bit in depth, not too much, and then I'm just going to give you some experience and some tips at the end to survive your first semester as a postgraduate business master's student. So, strategic management. I'm just going to call it that instead of what its full name is, which is strategic management for competitive advantage, because it gets very long-winded and I'm sure I will go strategic after about 5 times of saying it. So basically there's 2 or 3 parts to the module, I should say. You have your business game, which is pretty okay, and then you have your sort of 3 assignments in one for your second half, which will get handed in sort of in this period now, which is the first 2 weeks of January. So the business game, you get split into groups. You can't pick your groups, I'm afraid, and you enter details week after week in a business simulation game about the cars industry, and you have to sort of make decisions about every area of a business. So you do HR, you do strategic, you do your ops, and you do your finance. So you've got to sort of bring all these elements together and all agree on things, and it gets very, very stressful because you have to meet up and do meeting minutes whilst going to your other lessons, while doing stuff outside of university like work or, you know, having a life. So it was very, very hectic. Obviously every group has different dynamics, every group gets along, some don't, some do. It's very sort of like, ooh. But every week you submit some decisions online, the tutor goes through them with you, and you sort of have a bit of a Q&A questions, and it sort of helps you because your assignment is based on the business game. So basically all the stuff you did in your business game, you just write up in your essay, which is really good, because otherwise I think I'd be a bit lost. It is really hard. That's why you're in so much, because that module is split into like 6 different parts, which are 6 different parts of a business. So that's why you're in so much, and it is one of the biggest credited modules other than your dissertation as well. So it's very sort of hard on, very sort of like, you need to learn all this. If you've done a business undergrad before, i.e. I did, some of it is repetitive. It's sort of bringing everyone up to the same standard if they don't, because one of my friends have done a journalism course, someone else has done a media undergrad, so they don't know the areas of business as in an undergrad would do. So other than that, the module is pretty okay. You get to learn different areas. It does get very confusing. Make sure that you mark everything in your notes, depending what lesson it is, what lecture it is, because it gets very confusing when you've turned up to week 10 of teaching and you're on lecture 20 of finance and lecture 18 of operations. You get a bit confused. So the other module is developing global competencies. You have 2 parts to that, which is business intelligence and emotional intelligence. So your business intelligence one is where you get put into groups yet again. You can't pick your own, I'm afraid. And you have to pick a company. So any company, my group picked IKEA, and you have to pick an error in the company and then sort of do strategic things about it. So from a SWOT analysis to BAM. If you don't know what BAM is, it's BAM, that stands for Business Activity Model, which you will learn. I'm still learning, so I am forgetting these things. And you will learn lots of other things and do very in-depth conversations about the business and how you sort of want the business to change, or what they should do to and then further enhance their business goals. So it's really good. My group were fantastic, my IKEA group. I love them all. We all got on so well together, and even though sometimes because of either the weather or just general health, because we were in so much, it did get really stressful that we couldn't meet up. But we got the presentation put together, we did it on Prezi, and we came out the other end. We don't know what we've scored for that yet. We get that in the next 2 weeks, but I'm pretty chuffed whatever score we get. And the other half is emotional intelligence. Now this is where you will learn how you become self-aware and learn basically your strengths and weaknesses within a business for you to be either a manager or a leader in the future. And you do some tests that have probably been done year in, year out. So you do your Honey and Mumford learning styles, you do your, what else do you do? Your Belbin, if you've ever heard what Belbin is. You find out what learning roles you are, where you sit within a group of friends, whether you like to take charge or whether you like to just sit back and watch people, or whether you're sort of a person who just likes to give enthusiasm to the group. And in that module, we went on a residential for the weekend to Durham, and it really opened my eyes. I wasn't fully engaged with it at first. I was a bit like, really? Residential weekend? This is not going to be fun. But I came out the other end loving it and would have wanted to do it again. I was really tired from the weekend, but it was definitely worth doing, and definitely opened my eyes to working with different people. I got to meet people on the part-time business masters courses as well, so how they do that with working full-time, and it really opened my eyes a lot more. So yes, and you have 2 parts, as I said, 2 parts to that. So you've got your presentation on the business, and you have another essay on the emotional intelligence, which is where you basically talk about yourself, which is amazing, because you can never talk too much about yourself. And you sort of say what you've learned throughout the year in the module, what you've learned from doing these sort of questionnaires and assignment little things, and where you can develop further for the future, whether you are going to be a manager or a leader, which area of a business you're going to be going into, whether it's human resource management like myself, or finance, or operations. And that's basically it, really. That's it. It sounds dead easy when it's written on paper. Doing it, on the other hand, not so much. And then you have your academic and your masters dissertation sort of lessons. So basically them ones were just there to help you sort of move from undergrad to postgrad, so sort of how you would write an essay differently, how referencing works, and some of it was aimed at more international students, so the writing of your assignments, how to make sure that it flows correctly and you're using the right English. And then your master's dissertation, you were basically learning all the theories that you might want to do. So do you want a questionnaire? Do you want to do a survey? Do you want to do a focus group? Do you want to do things online? Do you want to go into a business? And sort of all these theories and very lot of like technical, and that's why they gave you a dissertation book. So one of these is the business school master's dissertation, and it is all in there. You literally take that with you every week and you go through it. That really helped. Don't get me wrong, I didn't read them all, or I didn't read all the books, but I have read most of the books, and they really do help. Tutors are there, they're not there to scare you, they are there to help you, so do ask questions. So that would be one of my number one tips, ask questions. Don't be scared of the tutors, they're there for you. Unlike an undergrad, they're a bit more understanding, but at the same time they're even harder on you because it is a master's. You are becoming a master of your chosen subject. You aren't just getting a degree, you are becoming a master. You can then further go on to do your doctorate, your PhD and all that lot. So they are really harsh on you, but at the end of the day, I get on with all my tutors so well, and don't get me wrong, I've had personal issues and they're always there for me. They're always there. They're not a shoulder to cry on, but their door's always open. Just pop them an email and they'll talk to you. So that would be like some tips. Don't hide away, make friends, you know, you're all in the same boat. Don't be scared of your timetable, believe me. Seeing that you're in 20 hours a week can be pretty daunting when you're like, well, my undergrad I was only in like 2 days a week. I'm in 4 now, what do I do? Just think, after the first semester, I've got my second semester timetable now. I'm in a few hours a day, if that. And I'm going to be like, what am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to be writing my dissertation on the side. So I'm going to be bringing you along on that journey as well and giving you tips of how to cope with a master's dissertation. I get all my marks back very soon from my first semester, so obviously I can't share any of that with you at the moment, but I hope to share that with you in my next few videos. And I think that's all I could say really. Don't get me wrong, I've sometimes thought about dropping out because it has been too hard, but I stood my ground. I had my friends, I had my tutors. I came out the other end going, no, don't drop out, you will get there. Just do the work, put your head down, you'll be fine. And I am. And I'm stood here now thinking, why did I ever think about dropping out? So yes, and the postgraduate loan from the government will help you tremendously. Don't forget to ask your universities as well. It's from SFE, which is Student Finance England. So they will help you so much, and that will be able to finance your studies. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video about my semester 1 overview. I know some of you may or may not be interested out there, but it's basically my first semester doing a master's, and that's my experience. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.